This is the Rio Grande podcast. Welcome home. All right, guys. Well, good morning. Welcome back. Another week on the Rio Grande podcast. This is your host, which I never really say, Sam. I used to want to be called 95 Sam. But anyway, here with us today, we're going to have another hangout session. We got my brother to the left of me.
Hi.
That's my brother, Derek. And across from me, across the table, is our bro, Mike.
Hi.
How are you guys doing? It's a good week to be together again. I really appreciate the little crowd, that we've been able to establish. So thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it. Derek does a lot of work, behind the scenes, and it's a lot of work to do this, but we really appreciate it. And just want to start off by saying thank you guys for listening, and we really have a lot of fun doing it too. But like I said, we're just kind of hanging out. So, did you guys hear about that big bird in Cameron County?
Is this real?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, have you heard about that big bird in Cameron County?
No.
This is the first thing I had.
When did they say this?
No, this is like an actual story, like a legend. The big bird.
Oh, so it's a sighting kind of deal.
Yeah, but from 1975.
Oh no, dude, he's probably dead by now, dude.
I didn't say, have you seen the big bird?
You said, have you seen the big? Oh, heard of the big bird?
Yes,
Oh
dude.
no, no.
So there's this big bird, guys, and have you heard of it, Mike?
No.
So a little backstory to Mike. He's actually not originally
That's true.
from the valley. So
this is the first time on it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So everybody, this is Michael. He's originally from Delaware, Texas. Born in maybe not born.
Delaware, Texas.
Oh wait, sorry, not from. It's because I love Texas so much. Maybe born, but definitely raised out in Delaware. So thanks for being on, bro.
But you were born in Delaware too.
Dover, Delaware.
Delaware,
And raised,
which is the capital.
Yep.
Of Delaware, which is
state.
on the East Coast. So he's another person you guys are going to be hearing from every now and then. And even if the podcast doesn't hear from him on the show, he's going to be doing stuff he's like an extra set of hands, like when we're moving around and stuff like that, which probably would be the case throughout, the progression of the podcast. So he's a character to know, right, Mike? But anyway, so I guess he hadn't heard about it, and I hadn't either. But there's this story about like a big bird in Cameron County, and I've read about it in different. I think one of the Valley's newspapers had done an article on it, a column on it.
we should ask Javier about it.
I know, right? But it's not a birding thing. Yeah, you know what? Well, maybe it is. So, it became like a whole legend because there was it started off with police officers that they saw a big bird in Harlingen, but it got blown. It got kind of shrugged off as okay, but we're in Cameron County, so it's just a big pelican, right? Pelicans can grow.
Sure.
But in Brownsville, and this is all 1975, and actually I have an article here.
I imagine it's like a crane
from
or
San Antonio. So here's the thing. Yeah, so this one's taken out of the San Antonio Current. So shout out to those guys. And I'm looking at where they're citing their information. And a lot of this is like legend, but the stories are their actual accounts of people that some of this is documented. So anyway, so these cops in Harlingen, they found a bird with a 10-foot wingspan. Right, so they thought, okay, well, it's a giant pelican, right? No big deal.
Even if that was a pelican, I'd be like,
a 10-foot wingspan, right? That's huge. And if you think about the 1970s in the Rio Grande Valley, think about what makes the news now. In the 70s, if you see a 10-foot wingspan bird, you're gonna come out on the first front page. There wasn't a whole lot going on, right? Not to say anything bad about the valley, but that's just kind of that was the situation.
Yeah.
So if the cops are gonna see a giant bird, it's gonna come out on whatever back then, I guess Channel 5 and all those news outlets, whatever that was back then. But later on, teenagers and different people started seeing this bird in Brownsville, and there were specific accounts of for example, there was one time on New Year's Day. I guess that would be 1976. or maybe that was the first day of 1975. No, in 1976, yeah, like these two girls, and this is like documented on. I've seen it on a couple of different articles that apparently they saw like a bird that was at least 5 feet tall, and it was like staring at them. And the thing about this is that their parents like found like ginormous tracks, like ginormous bird tracks. And like eventually this kept happening. Like another guy in Brownsville, like ranchers started seeing it. And then it started going around that there was a big bird. And they started calling it Big Bird. Kind of like the like Sesame
Those
Street.
already. When did Sesame Street come out? Like in the 60s?
I don't know, but this became like a thing here. And like I said, in the valley, like there was not a whole lot going on. So these kind of things, like they would like spread like wildfire. And it just kept like it kept appearing in Brownsville specifically. But this made headlines not only in the valley, like people like outside of the state were looking into it, and then it became like a whole like cryptid thing, like Bigfoot and all that, like Big Bird. I've seen other people say that they thought that it was like some African like stork or like some giant like a shoebill stork. There's like a certain type of giant water
Yeah, we
like
talked about
waterfowl.
those, Mike. Remember the ones that make that sound?
The gunshot sound.
Sesame Street came out in 1969, by the way.
Oh, okay. So Big Bird was already a thing. So yeah, people like now, like I guess people that are looking back and trying to figure out what this was, think that it might have been like a giant stork, because of the accounts like of the huge wingspan and that it was tall, which sounded like, and being like mainly in Brownsville gave the like I guess made people think that it was a like a type of waterfowl also, or maybe not waterfowl, but like a like a shore bird or something like that. And it's actually gained traction recently because a lot of more like companies and news places are doing like features on it. Like another one in San Antonio, a flying creature has spooked the South Texas area for decades, and apparently there's been sightings more recently. Like this started at the end of 1975, 1976.
So they're still seeing him today.
I don't know if they're still seeing him, and they think that it might be like some people thought that it was like an escaped like bird from the zoo because again it's
But even
Brownsville.
then, that's a huge bird.
How tall?
Yeah,
is it?
that's the thing. It was huge. They said it was like 5-6 feet tall with like a 10-foot wingspan, and that like
Dude, no way.
yeah, and like it would just be it was just random
Terrorizing.
spottings.
The people.
Yeah, and people started saying that it had wings like a bird, but like that it wasn't a bird, and like they were saying that they had like giant eyes.
Yeah, I'm sure it just kept on, like, the stories just kept getting, like, weirder and weirder.
Yeah, and it became like a folklore, like
Yeah.
tales. And it became like a because you know how cryptid like that's
It didn't have a name?
Big Bird, dude.
Oh,
No, like for real, that's what it was called. He was called, but it was scary though, dude. Because like the thing about that, like Hispanics aren't very tall, man. So like there were stories like that. It would pick people up, and that it would like appear, and like
I
this.
think it could. I mean, if it was real, right?
It's a short. No, I mean it's real. Like it's documented.
But that's a huge bird, bro.
What
well,
color
look up
was it?
those storks. Like if you look up, like no, dude, it was a real bird. What do you mean? Like the idea of it being like a Bigfoot
Okay,
type
so
of animal.
where is it then?
Well,
Or what was it then?
We don't know. Like
Oh,
it's
so how do you know it's real?
because I mean, like it's a real like account. Like these are like real documented accounts of people like writing into the media, like, "Oh, I saw this thing," because they were trying to
Yeah, they're
find
just
it.
saying there. But
No, but they were like the county was actually like people were actually trying to locate it. Like if you see that, if I say that I saw a beaver outside, like people are gonna go looking for it.
But if you never find it, you just do your word.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like it would come up like, oh, like 6 months later we saw him again.
Oh,
So that like that kept happening. And
well, it's kind
they
of
weren't
like
sure if it was
one of
one
our
thing.
friends said that they saw black bears in Westlaco. Or
Yeah, no, that was an Alamo, dude, by a canal.
yeah.
Yeah, like a black bear. Like I don't know about that, but that's not even a cryptid. That's just like black bears don't go here. The thing about this big bird is that it made sense because like a lot of birds travel north
Through here.
Yeah, through here, and it was in a place where there's like the ocean nearby. A big giant bird could Brownsville has a lot of resacas. Back then, it was just a bunch of ranch land. So like there was several things that
Javier,
made
if
it,
you're listening, please contact us.
like
about
what's Big Bird? Yeah,
have you heard of this? What would it be?
yeah.
Or any birding
And
enthusiast?
I think at that time, like it was just scary in general because like it wasn't very hard to like make things scary at that time. Like there was like a scary movie of birds. Like it was like a more innocent time. So like it's easier to make like that's not even spooky. Well, it is spooky. The good thing though is that nobody like shot it because like that's the thing that people used to do. Like
Yeah,
like
they would have.
everyone wants to shoot like whatever. But nobody caught Big Bird, dude. And I can't believe like not enough people have heard about this guy, dude. Because he's big, dude. And he's Big Bird.
They were. I mean, how original, right? They could have come up with anything.
It is, dude.
I mean, it's a big bird, but they could have called it something else.
And like now there was a zoologist in San Antonio that was actually like really like trying to figure out what this was. Because it was like I told you, it was a serious thing. Like Harlingen San Benito.
I can't think of another name, so I can't really speak on that.
It's got wings like a bird, but it's no bird. That's one of the quotes. Like, because like, of course,
those are the ones that are trying to make it more creepy.
Yeah, like, oh, it's not. It's like a winged man or something. But no, like it was a giant bird.
It's a guy in a costume.
Again, we don't know what it was, right? But yeah, so that's one thing. Like the valley has interesting stuff. Like there's interesting stuff about us. Like, did you know that fajita was invented here? Like it had never been a thing. The cut of meat was like started here. Like it was like fajita was invented here in the sense that like the beef skirt, like taking it for to have that started here.
So before it was always just attached to whatever else.
Well, yeah, and sometimes like certain cuts of meat wouldn't be like they weren't prized or they weren't used.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's this website called The Palette, like it's like a food palette, and they talk about food. And it was talking about there was a column or an article about fajitas, and it says it begins in the Rio Grande Valley, where in the 1930s vaqueros and ranch hands began spinning lesser cuts of beef, often given to them as part of their pay, into portable filling meats. So like they were kind of like they would chop up all the good cuts of the
yeah,
and they would be like, oh, like take this, like as part of like your compensation, like go make some food. So they had all this food. I mean, all these like that same cut. So they started finding ways to make it, and it was quick because it's like a lot thinner than like your steak. Like it's one of the thinner cuts. And the way that they were getting used is that like they would just cook them quick and then tuck them into a tortilla because it's easy to like wrap that piece of meat.
You're not gonna put like a T-bone in a tortilla.
Yeah, you can't put a rib like in the tortilla. You can't put like steak in the tortilla. Well, you can, but like yeah. But for them, because
you just rip it up and like
so like tortillas are obviously a thing. So like that's the easiest. It was like one of the easiest meats to put in their tortillas. So then it became a thing. Like you just start putting it over coal, and now you have tacos al carbón. And now you have fajitas. And then that actually blew up because it was literally like here, like this meat is like just whatever. Like we were going to throw it away, like take it. Like now we don't have to pay you a whole lot more because now you have food. You don't have to buy any. But it became a thing. And like they...
who was giving them the meat?
Like the ranchers. Like the ranch hands would get paid. And then they would be given like...
the cheap meat.
Yeah, or like well, at the time it was cheap meat because there was no use for it. Like there was no market for that cut of meat. So and now like fajita is like a huge thing. So it started.
How
like,
much is it a
valley
pound now? Right now,
a lot. So fajita comes from faja, which is Spanish for belt. Faja means belt.
Okay.
So that's where it came from.
Waist.
Yeah. So and then it became like a Tex-Mex icon, like a cut of beef. It was used as like a here, whatever. And now it's like huge part of like our
culture.
Yeah, huge part of our culture. And that came from the valley too. So like you got Big Bird eating fajita. Probably because he's so big, he probably eats meat.
You like fajita, Mike?
Not really. I like carne guisada.
Do you like grapefruit?
Grapefruit?
Yeah.
Not really.
No.
But whenever I think of grapefruit, I think of the Drake and Josh episode where there's a guy like that steals a cop car. This guy has a big grapefruit in his hand.
Who? The guy who stole the car?
Oh, yeah.
And then Drake and Josh are in the back, and the criminal asks Drake and Josh, like, you got any sugar?
Oh, yeah. And he does, right? Someone does have sugar.
Yeah.
And he pulls it like out of his pocket or his jacket. Like he has like a half grapefruit.
And then he tears it with his teeth.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, did you know that the ruby red grapefruit was invented also in the Rio Grande Valley? If you can say invented, I would say developed or like I don't know, cultivated, or
How?
it came from the valley. I don't know what part, maybe Mission, but
Or
like,
how do you get a ruby red grapefruit?
oh well, that's just you just got to play with like the like the lineages, like that's a genetics
Yeah,
thing.
like breeding
Yeah,
fish or
yeah. So
whatever.
like yeah, selective breeding. Did you say fish?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like dogs. But yeah, like you select like the traits that you want and like the consistencies that you want. But it was an accident. Like they weren't trying to make a ruby red grapefruit. And this was like in the 1920s, but it wasn't until the 70s that somebody doctor out of Texas
A lot of stuff
A&M
happened in the
actually
70s.
patented it. Yeah, like actually oh, Big Bird. Yeah, well, like in the 70s it actually got patented and like officially unveiled to the world as ruby red grapefruit. But it was made like by accident here. It was just started appearing like in the valley in the like late 20s, like early 30s, which is like around the Great Depression. Um and like ever since like now the ruby red grapefruit is probably one of the most popular grapefruits. Like just even the way that like it looks so delicious. I like grapefruit. I've always loved grapefruit. Like in school, they would serve it like the grapefruit.
With the cherry in the middle.
So yeah, why would they do
I
that?
don't know.
So the ruby red grapefruit started here, and I actually one of the reasons why I like grapefruit is because it's easy to like obtain. Like grapefruit juice, I always say this, it's always available like at HEB because not a lot of people drink it. So it's never like sold out or like out of stock. And that does happen with other like popular drinks.
I like Toronja soda.
Oh, like Squirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, Squirt.
Fresca is good too.
I didn't know
Fresca's
Squirt
good.
was like grapefruit flavor. Fresca is too, right? That's like yellow. Yeah, I don't know that, but I think that's like one of those things like whole like you know how like
Squirt is a yellow one.
yeah, but you know how like grape flavors doesn't taste like grape or like watermelon sometimes. I think that's the same thing with grapefruit flavor.
I don't know. I'd say that's closer to the grapefruit flavor than grape and grape soda.
I don't know. I've never tasted Squirt and been
Yeah,
like, ooh,
definitely.
grapefruit. Maybe it is. And most people use Squirt for like mixed drinks and like alcohol. So like they're not really even caring about like how grapefruity it is. But I love grapefruit juice. I've always loved grapefruit, but with salt though. I mean, I'll have it by itself too. But like the whole Drake and Josh thing with sugar, I had never thought of that.
Me neither.
And I don't think I would do that. Doesn't sound very appealing to me, but I liked it with salt.
Yeah.
It was so delicious.
After that episode, like I started trying to eat a grapefruit with sugar, and it wasn't as good as.
No,
they
dude.
made
No,
it
you
seem.
need to have grapefruit with salt, bro. It's delicious. The only bad thing about grapefruit is that if you have a grapefruit, you have to wait like an hour to drink water
Oh yeah.
because
Forgot about
like
that.
water tastes terrible. Like I think it's like water after
Or
grapefruit.
orange juice after toothpaste.
Oh, maybe. Oh, dude, that sounds disgusting. Like I just thought about it being like warm and hot. But anyway,
Well, it's cold.
yeah, I
Orange
know.
juice is
But
cold.
anyway, grapefruit is freaking delicious, and the ruby red was like, it got started here in the valley, and like everyone knows, like the valley is known for citrus. Mission, Texas, is known for its citrus, like its oranges, its grapefruits.
What is it? Florida too? Is the orange
Yeah,
state?
Florida's the oranges. Yeah,
That's true. They're the orange state.
And then Georgia is the peach.
yeah.
Right?
And Delaware's the what?
Well, I mean, oranges like
First
Texas
state.
is not even
The who?
citrus, but the valley
The
is.
first state.
Oh,
Yeah.
Delaware has a lot of history, bro.
did they have like a food or something?
Our national bird's a hen. The blue
Oh.
hen.
The bull hen?
Blue.
Oh, blue.
Yeah.
That's cool. Not Big Bird.
Nah.
Dude, you need to look up this Big Bird thing though. Like I'm not even kidding. I think it's a story.
I was looking at it right now.
Big Bird? Was it
Yeah.
scary?
It looks like a vulture. That's what it looks like.
That would be scary.
That's
Well, there
probably
are
what it
vultures
was.
and-
Albatrosses are big, right?
Yeah, the wingspan is huge. It's like
So maybe it
the
was one of
biggest.
those.
Nah, we don't have those in the valley.
Well,
It didn't. It's not.
that's
4
why it
foot
was
tall.
weird when it showed up.
Nah. Okay.
Like the bat hawk that just randomly came from out of nowhere. That doesn't belong here, but it was.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not that it
The
doesn't
bat
belong
hawk.
here, just that it doesn't come over here.
It's not
You want to know
natural to here.
another interesting thing?
Bat falcon, sorry. I
Bat
keep saying-
falcon.
I keep
Yeah.
saying bat hawk.
You were thinking that that weird ant that eats like spiders or something. Hawks. I can't think of the name right now. I should be able to know this.
Tony Hawk.
No, it's like it's 'cause it's called
Tarantula
a hawk.
hawk?
I think it is. But anyway, so like we got the valley. started the whole fajita craze, ruby red grapefruits. We got Big Bird. Another thing about the valley that I learned from some like different media outlets is that apparently, and this like is on national like archives. Apparently, the very first time that a U.S. airplane was shot at was in the valley in Brownsville, Texas. The first documented incident of an airplane being shot at by like the enemy happened in
What?
Brownsville.
When was this?
April 1915. And remember 1915, like the history of planes doesn't go very far back. If you think about like modern history, like relatively, like especially like combat planes. The very first the US military's first aero squadron was operating out of Fort Brown in Brownsville. And like the way that it happened, which is kind of funny and interesting, is that the pilots of these planes were sent out on a mission to find
Big Bird.
no, dude. That's actually really good. No, dude. These pilots were out looking for Pancho Villa.
Okay.
They were out looking for Pancho Villa because they thought that he had crossed the river into Matamoros, because we're in Brownsville right now. Like in the story, like we're in Fort Brown, and they're like, oh, like we gotta scramble some planes because we think Pancho Villa has gone to Mexico, like he's running away. But they didn't like that. Like Pancho Villa's army was not happy that there was a whole like reconnaissance mission, so they shot one of the planes with their rifles, and like they said at least one machine gun, and like the pilot was able like to get back safely. But that was the very first time that a U.S. military plane had been
Fired at.
shot, dude. Like fired at. Like that happened in the valley the very first time. I mean, that's not really a good thing, but it's kind of interesting because like that's like national history, and it ended up being like with Pancho Villa, and it ended up being in the Rio Grande Valley. So that's like, and there's a lot of stuff that happened at Fort Brown. Like that's actually very like rich in history. I mean, there's that whole park right now out there. We went there on a field trip, like in elementary. My school, Carmen Elementary. Shout out to Carmen Elementary. We went out there. Was it called Palo
Alto?
It's not Palo Alto, is it? Oh yeah, Palo Alto Battlefield, I think, in Brownsville. But that's not what. Well, yeah. So that's where Fort Brown was. And so that happened, which is like kind of cool, I guess. Mike is over here like falling asleep. He hasn't really said much. So, and he's not really
Do you remember Super Splash?
We went there once.
I went there once too.
Yeah. I don't remember. I just remember that it was like Raul Longoria. But I don't remember, like, I couldn't tell you where it is anymore.
I have a picture, me and my dad, Super Splash.
Yeah, that's like kind of, those things don't exist. That's like Gorilla George's around that same time frame.
Did you go to Gorilla George's?
Gorilla George's?
Is it
Yeah.
pizza
Have you? I
place?
mean,
What is that?
you lived in Delaware, but you visited here often, right?
Yeah.
So you never went to Gorilla George's?
No.
I would say it's like Mr. Gaddy's, I guess,
Okay.
but Gorilla.
Maybe. There's a vague memory.
There was a big gorilla outside.
I imagine it being like, it was a white building.
I think it
with white
became a bingo
walls.
place. No, but I remember it had like the walls had like that rock, like the beige rock.
I want to
type thing
say
also.
so.
It was Gorilla George's. It was a pizza place.
I
But
remember the pizza being good.
they had a bunch of. It was like an arcade pizza
Because
place.
like when in second grade, I moved here for like 3 months, and so I went to Clover Elementary.
In San
So
Juan.
maybe during that time, that's when I went to Gorilla George's.
Yeah, did you ever go to Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage?
Is that in Delaware?
I'd like to.
Did they have that?
They didn't have that.
Jones Barbecue and Foot
Nah.
Massage. There was just this meme. Like now, sorry guys, whoever's listening that doesn't get it. Like there was this like Vine meme. Well, you know what? It was probably a commercial. That's another thing I wanted to talk about,
Valley commercial.
guys.
Shampoozy?
This is a good person. This is a good time to ask, Mike. Like, is it only in the Valley that we have these like witty like commercials?
Like corny,
Cheesy.
cheesy.
Yeah, like why, dude? Like not just the lawyers, bro. Like everything. Like
I don't understand.
Like, where's Austin? Or, like, remember that, like, that, what was it, that
it
store
wasn't
that
Where's
sold
Austin? It was
appliance?
Where's Willie?
Where's Willie, dude? Oh, Austin was the mattress firm.
Mattress firm.
Yeah, mattress firm. Where's Willie? Where's Willie? Like, dude, the
I
Valley
think
has
every local
always
place
had,
has stuff like that, right?
Is it like always local markets? Because the Valley has always had cheesy stuff, bro. And, like, they're spending who knows how much money on Where's Willie. Like this guy's like coming out of like a dryer, dude. Like teaching kids bad stuff to like hide in the washer. Like, does that happen? Was that in Delaware too?
You know, I have no recollection of like
Commercials?
Like local
that
commercials?
are like witty like that. But I've grown to appreciate it over here. Like the shampoo.
So the wacky stuff did it happen over there?
Oh yeah. Like
It wasn't wacky stuff?
It wasn't. I don't. Not
chew
that I remember.
mule. Like
No.
all that stuff, dude.
Dance.
Yeah. Even like Captain Prontissimo, like, and I guess we're shouting out all these businesses now. Might as well mention Charlie Clark, like, and then he did a whole other thing, like Green Ghost and Mexican.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He did a whole like series.
That
like
was a movie too, dude.
Yeah, well, that recently Green Ghost, and they even had Machete. He came over here to Machete came out, dude. Green Ghost, man.
Danny Trejo.
But it's like Green Ghost, Gringo.
Yeah.
Green Ghost and Mexican. But like I've always wondered, like, is that only in the like? Why do we do that, dude? And it's funny because it's like I think we laugh because it's so dumb, bro. Like, I mean, maybe there's people that that's their genuine, like, true humor, like that's their genre of humor. But like, dude,
I mean, obviously it's low budget, right? But
I think that's why they go with the
but that's
wacky,
also
right?
part of the vibe,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Like it's supposed to be, like it's supposed to look like that. Like all those like car dealership commercials.
yeah, like you remember it. I remember it. Why? Because it's funny and witty.
Yeah, like it's
If it was just plain blank and they tried,
Oh, yeah.
it probably would be lame and nobody would remember it.
that's true too. Like maybe like
They're making it too serious.
we already knew we weren't going to be
Yeah.
able to afford cinematic cameras. So now instead you're going to be like, it's tricky.
Exactly.
Like all that stuff, dude. Like remember that commercial?
Yeah.
Like it's no tricks.
All local places have that kind of stuff.
I thought it was only in the valley but like the only thing that has me thinking maybe it's not is one, Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. That obviously was I don't know, that was a real thing. But also
Yes.
that commercial from Six Flags with that old man dancing all the time.
That's a national, not national.
That's
it
my
is.
point.
I would
It's not
see it in
local.
Delaware.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my point. Like I was like, maybe that's a thing everywhere. Because remember the old man that would
Yeah,
dance
yeah,
like. I don't know if it was that one,
Yeah.
but it was that one.
It's just that marketing strategy to make you
Isn't it the
remember.
we
But it's
like
such
to
a
party
valley thing.
Is that one right?
I don't know. Oh, but that's not what it would. It wouldn't say words. It would just
Well,
be
not
that
in the
old guy.
commercial, but yeah.
But yeah, like man, and then it started getting like into like the lawyers and okay, do all lawyers do that? Does every market have like lawyers that all do that?
Not in Delaware.
No, right?
So the Law Giant and all this stuff, they don't do that in Delaware?
No.
Where the commercial comes out and the lawyer's like a huge guy defeating a big old space
Megatron?
alien. Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't happen,
No.
right? And that's funny because you would like lawyers, like you would think that's one of the professions like
be
that's like the most serious.
serious.
Like
Yeah.
it's like courtroom etiquette, and they're like
know-
for like. But I mean, like it's one thing to have a lot of different lawyers making commercials, but all of the lawyers making the commercials are always like witty. They always have to have like some kind of song, doing something. And it used to be like more like not like that. Like the strong arm was just that, like. But then,
Brian
but
Longcar.
I don't know who started doing that, and even like Dr. Pena does that stuff too. But
It's just a local thing, bro. Like everybody just does it.
but is
here,
it
I
like a
guess.
local market thing or a valley thing?
I think it's a local market thing because you remember Rhett and Link from YouTube? Like
no.
at one point they had a show where they did local commercials and they were exactly like these kind, like just
Okay.
funny. So that's like somewhere else. That's like in California or whatever. So yeah, dude, every local market has their like cheesy stuff.
But it's always like
some
super
more than
low
others.
budget.
Some more than others.
And another thing, like before, like so now I'm talking like early 2000s, maybe even like late 90s that those commercials still came out. Before, like it was as witty as it is now, it would just be like terrible, like overly terrible acting as part of the genre. Like I remember this commercial about like a water company or something. Like the mom's talking to the son, is like, "Yes, mom." Like it's just like so bad acting that like that became like I guess what caught your attention. And there was a lot like that, like HVAC companies, like I said, some water treatment company, like they would just have terrible acting. And that was just like, oh, okay, like it's from here. Like it will come out in the middle like of the football game. And
yeah,
that's how they all
what it's
were.
supposed to be. Like you said, it's just supposed to be cheesy. It's supposed to be like that.
I think my favorite one was Where's Willie though, because I didn't feel like I didn't want to like change the channel. I didn't want to like palm. What is it called? Face
I
palm.
wanted to know where Willie was.
I actually liked it, dude. Like, where's Willie? Like, and I didn't like the mattress firm one. I never
Those
liked.
aren't really. His thing was that he would wink at the end. Remember?
Oh, Austin.
Austin?
Oh, and he
Like,
grew
come
up
visit
quick,
us or
though.
whatever. Then he would like do a wink thing. It's like, bro.
Yeah, it kind of made you want like not want to look when he winked.
Especially when he was older.
He gets a
Sorry,
little bit
Austin,
older.
whoever you are.
Yeah, you know what? If you're
Imagine he's our
listening-
guest next week. We found Austin.
No,
Or
he
we
was
found
never
Willie.
lost, dude. It was Willie.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, like, because it's been forever since the Mattress Firm
Yeah,
commercials.
yeah. Like, where are they now?
yeah, like, where are they now? Valley
Where's
Local.
Willie? Where's he now?
What if we do that, dude?
Dude, they're not gonna.
Seriously,
where are
like,
they now? They were never like.
Dude, for even if it's just 2 or 3 episodes, like the Where Are They Now Valley Locals, like
who would you look for?
Willie,
Okay, but who else? There's not enough.
Austin from Mattress Firm.
I'm sure there are some people.
Who else?
So check this out. I found a witty Delaware commercial from my
Hometown.
Yeah,
Do you remember it though?
no, but it looks pretty weird. Look,
Which rent are you paying? What are you getting for it?
Is he wearing a cape?
he's wearing a cape,
Is that a green
A
screen?
suit.
Is he not even actually there?
some shades.
Set up on Delmarva.
Yeah, bro. That's always been a thing. Like, from,
Yeah, I guess.
I guess.
you know what? Since the
Yeah.
beginning of time, bro. Like,
I just don't
But
remember.
why, dude?
like, come on down to see the fabulous, like, whatever at the circus. You know what I mean? It's always been a way of like
Yeah.
of announcing stuff.
Oh, well, yeah. Dude, that guy's in a cape, dude, and a crown. Like, he's
Yeah.
supposed to
So
be
that's
doing
what I'm
that.
saying. Like, it's always been a thing.
So I guess I always thought it was a Valley thing, but then I always started wondering, like, I wonder if it's if I think we're doing it. I feel like we do it like more than other markets,
I
but of
guess.
course I have no experience because I'm born and raised in the Valley.
Mm-hmm.
But man, we spent so much time talking about that. But dude,
Dude, I want to do a Where Are They Now.
there's
Let's
no one
find
to
Willie.
look for.
wanna
You could look for that guy.
Okay.
I'm sure you can find Willie, dude. He's probably on Facebook.
Oh, the Where Are They Now? The Mexican guy. I mean, the keyboard player from Mexicana.
Oh
dude.
yeah, the keyboard player from
Where are they
Mexicana was
now,
good, dude. Yeah, that's another one.
Sorry, Mike.
Mike is showing us a commercial. Another dude, it's a car dealership. I'm telling you, bro. Car dealers do that too. But you know what? Our car dealerships would make it like relevant. Like it would be like football season. There would be one like hunting
That's true.
season.
They are with the times or
Yeah,
with
like,
the or
they-
what's going
with
on.
the season, or like they keep up like what's relevant. Sorry about like just abruptly cutting off our conversation, but we spent a lot of time talking. And well, look it up, guys. Look up Big Bird. Look up actually just look up Big Bird from all this whole conversation. Like, and if you live in Brownsville, look for Big Bird. He might still be there. I don't know how long he lives. He hasn't reached out to me. He hasn't responded to my DMs. But see if you find him. I think he's historic. But if you guys think otherwise, then let us know what you think Big Bird is. It's not from Sesame Street. Okay, so thank you guys for spending some time with us talking about whatever we just did.
Mhm.
We will see you guys next week. Don't forget to follow us though on social media and on Spotify as well, on Apple Podcasts. I think we have somebody following us on Deezer, which is interesting.
the-
Yeah, like I remember Deezer had like a
Just an app.
yeah
I just mainly used it because mom would want like wallpapers and
from Deezer.
Yeah.
No, well yeah, Deezer.
Oh
did
no, that
like
was something with a Z.
No, that's Zedge, bro.
Zedge. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Deezer did like a collab
Dang,
with Cricket
Zedge.
Wireless like a few years ago.
Oh.
But we have someone on Deezer. Somebody listens a lot from iHeartRadio. So whoever that is, thank you, because iHeartRadio is not being used as much as it used to be. So that was nice to see that we got someone there. And then also like somebody is listening on Amazon, which is also one of the rarities. Most people are listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
At first, it was Spotify, and then like Apple Podcast took over.
yeah.
But have you checked like recently? Spotify is like,
Yeah, so most of our listeners, guys, from our stats, from what we see, are listening on Spotify. Like now, it's getting like a more of a
50-50
even, yeah, an even,
or something like that.
yeah. No, I wouldn't say 50-50. Spotify is still our biggest platform of where people listen from, and also we have more people following on Spotify. So if you haven't followed yet, don't forget to follow the show so that you don't miss any episodes. Follow us on Instagram too. We're gonna be having more polls, like we said, and like more stuff that we're gonna be interacting with you guys. We want to hear from you. We really appreciate the community. We want to hear back from you guys. Our first season, it's been going fast. It's been one episode a week, but it feels like it's flying. So we appreciate, the love, and we will be back to bother you guys next week. Okay, so don't forget Wednesdays at 5 a.m. By the way.
That's true. That's something that we've told you that it's on Wednesdays, but we haven't told you the time. So if you've ever wondered when it airs, it's like 5 a.m.
5 a.m. on Wednesdays, so that way you're at the gym, you can listen. You're driving to work, you can listen.
Getting
ready for your day.
Brushing your teeth the right way.
Flossing.
Eating breakfast, drinking
Hashtag
coffee.
Ariana Casares.
Yeah, so thank you guys anyway. Have a good day, have a good week. We really appreciate all the support. Can't wait to hear back from you guys, and we will see you next week on the Rio Grande podcast. Peace out. I don't say that, so I have to say that again. We'll see you guys next week on the Rio Grande podcast.
Adios.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks for spending some time with us today. Don't forget to follow the show on social media for updates on episodes, interactive content, and more opportunities to grow together. We'll see you again next week on your podcast, the Rio Grande Podcast. Stay safe. Take care.